Mini stretch. We're on the home stretch here, guys. It's about to get really, really exciting, so I just need you to be present and ready. Is everybody ready for the home stretch? Are you guys ready? Okay, all right. Lights down. Let's take it to the next level here. We're not done. In the beginning, I talked to you about our vision. And our vision was everybody has access to this stuff. A lot of the things that we show you can be available to the C-suite in the corner office if you have enough money, right? And that was certainly the case when I came to Cisco and many of our customers, like, yeah, if you're the CEO of Citibank, you can get a great video quality experience. But what about all the rest of us schlubs? You get kind of best efforts. Well, that's not acceptable to us. We wanted to democratize all of this stuff. We wanted to bring it to the smallest companies. The power of the cloud and that revolution means that the smallest companies can get access to the same technology that the big guys have access to. And that is a personal passion of mine. And so we showed you earlier an amazing partnership that we've had with IBM and 1,000 users there transforming the way they work. But now I'd like to show you a small company. And a small company that has gone all in with us. And they didn't spend a lot of money. But small companies don't always mean that their products are small or that their impacts are small. This particular small company has a huge impact around the world. They don't have very many people. But unless you've been living under a rock, I can almost guarantee you that you have seen one of their products. So we've got a video here to show you how a small company is leveraging all of these technologies to transform the way that they work. Go ahead and roll the video, please.
Now that are spanning the globe. In Japan, in Europe, in San Diego, we're shooting in Savannah. From Savannah, we go to Cartagena. From Cartagena, we go to Budapest. So we have productions in each one of those places. But we have to collaborate with everybody every day to make sure everybody's on the same page. So communication is the key to our business. If I'm looking at a drawing, or I'm looking at a location, or I'm looking at a design of something, I can communicate with the person on the spot. I can talk to the production designer. I can talk to the art director. I can talk to the editor if he's showing me something. That's important. Emails don't work for me that way. I communicate in real time. I can see what they're showing me, what they're talking about. I can make corrections, which can save me a fortune. The technology that is in my hands right now is what makes us so successful. Communication with a voice and an image, for me, is gold.
All right. It's gold. That's what he said there. It's gold, baby. All right. So, I think under our final announcement of the day, a lot of you, probably in fact by show of hands, how many of you have got one of these kinds of devices, a HomePod or an Alexa or maybe something like Google Home? Okay, almost all of you, great. So you're probably all, I would call you early adopters of technology. Well, these technologies are fabulous. They're really, really incredible. And I think that one of the things that folks realize when you start to get these technologies is the power of a natural language interface, right? That ability to just speak to the computer and have it respond to you and not have to sort of give it very specific commands. It just kind of it wakes up and listens and does what you want. Well, that's great, but these products were all built for home users and for individuals. And they're great at telling you what the weather's going to be like or ordering some new toilet paper, I guess. But they're not so great if you bring them into business. And we, of course, being obsessed with simplicity, wanted to bring an incredible experience to all of our hardware devices using natural language. And so the next announcement is the official unveiling and launch of a brand new product that we are calling the WebEx Assistant. And it brings the power of natural language and artificial intelligence to Teams and to every meeting. And so I'd like to invite to the stage to share with you all the official launch of WebEx Assistant and the former CEO of MindMeld, Tim Tuttle, is here with us today. So put your hands together and introduce Tim Tuttle. All right, so tell us all about WebEx Assistant and what it can do for folks in the audience.
I would be happy to. It's my pleasure. So I think we're all aware that these voice assistants are starting to become available everywhere. And they're gradually and steadily getting more and more useful. And as you heard today at Cisco, we're passionate about trying to find ways to help teams to work better together. So when we set out to create our virtual assistant, we didn't want to create just another consumer smartphone assistant. Instead, we wanted to create something that would be truly useful in the workplace. We wanted to create a virtual assistant that could take advantage of this great hardware, which is in millions of meeting rooms around the world. We wanted to have an assistant that could use these high-resolution cameras so that it could see everything that was happening in your conference rooms and around you so it could get smarter. We wanted to create an assistant that could use the advanced microphone arrays in all these devices so they could hear every word of every meeting and use that to be better at helping you. And last, we wanted to take advantage of the advanced NVIDIA Jetson processor, which is in all of these collaboration endpoints, so that we could run the latest, most advanced AI algorithms lightning fast. That is what we wanted to build. And so last fall, we previewed Spark Assistant to give you a taste of what would be possible. And today, as Rowan just mentioned, we're pleased to announce that Spark Assistant is now WebEx Assistant, and it will be available to Cisco customers who have these devices as a free upgrade starting this summer. So let me show you a few of the things that this assistant can do. So, of course, the assistant can make it really easy to join meetings. In fact, it's really good at streamlining many of the common tasks that we all have to deal with when we're collaborating with our team, and specifically when we're in meetings. So if you're running late for a meeting, and you go into the conference room and you don't have your laptop handy, certainly you can just say, join the meeting, and you can get into the meeting without having to tap anything. Great. Really easy. Of course, it's built on an advanced AI engine that's designed to understand natural human language. That means you can speak to it the same way you would speak to another person, and it should understand you. It doesn't matter if you say join the meeting, say let's get the meeting started, let's get going, please start the meeting now, any way you want to say it, it'll understand. But let me show you something that's a little more advanced, a little more interesting. So let's say you're sitting in a conference room and you have a device like this, and there's no scheduled meeting, and you just want to get your team into an ad hoc meeting or an impromptu meeting. Most WebEx customers tend to use personal meeting rooms for this. But if you have one of these devices now, the way you would have to do that is you have to walk up to the board or walk up to the touch panel, remember the address for your personal meeting room, and then go through that clunky task. Typing in the address takes forever, and you'd probably give up. So we have a really good solution for this, and it leverages this great feature in these devices called proximity. So most of these devices in companies are in rooms that are shared spaces. And so devices that are in shared spaces are not allowed to know about you or your calendar, or they're certainly don't know the address of your personal meeting room, but proximity allows us to solve that problem. So proximity emits an ultrasonic signal from this that pairs with the mobile devices in the room, and that allows the assistant to always know who are the people in the room at any point in time. And that makes it really easy for getting to my personal room. I can just go to the device and say, okay, WebEx, join my personal room.
Which of these paired users are you?
Option 2.
Okay, calling Tim Tuttle's personal meeting room.
So it saw there are 3 people in the room. I was one of them, luckily. In a simple voice command, I could get into my room, no problem. So let me exit that and show you some of the other things it can do. So, so another thing that the WebEx Assistant is really good at is helping you call people in your company. WebEx Assistant knows about all the people in your company directory, so it can be really helpful if you want to call people if you know their name. But what about if you just met somebody in your company, you remember their first name, Michael, but you don't remember their last name. And in a small company, it's not a big deal. Maybe a couple of Michaels, you can find them pretty easily. But if you're in a big company like Cisco, there could be hundreds of Michaels. Or in the case of Cisco, there could be thousands of Michaels. And so what we would do today is we would open up our laptop, we would go to the company directory, we'd search around, we'd look at people's pictures, and we'd try to find the Michael that we just met. Well, we think there's a better way. And in WebEx Assistant, we've made it much easier to find the person that you are trying to reach, even if you don't remember their first name. And we do this by combining two things. One, the knowledge that's in the WebEx graph, which knows who are all the people that you interact with, combined with lightning-fast voice navigation. And we believe this is the fastest way for you to find people, even if you don't remember the full name. And let me show you a quick example. Okay, WebEx, please call Michael.
Here are the top 20 contacts for that name. Pick an option.
Show more. Go back. Cancel. So very quickly, I can look through all the Michaels. It was right on the first page. The reason it was on the first page is because the WebEx graph knows who are the Michaels that I interact with the most, who are the Michaels that are closest to me in the organization. It does this based on knowledge of who I send messages to, who I'm in meetings with, who do I call the most, and where in the organizational hierarchy are these people located. And that allows WebEx Assistant to connect me with the person that I'm trying to reach very, very quickly, even if I don't know who that person's full name. But of course, if you do know the person's full name, WebEx Assistant can help you call them in a single shot. So let's try that. Okay, WebEx, make a call to Keith Griffin.
Call Keith Griffin, right?
Yes. So
got it. I'm calling Keith Griffin.
Shows me the thumbnail just to make sure it's the right Keith Griffin, and I can confirm it. Then it places the call, and hopefully if Keith's around, he can pick up the call. Oh, there he is. Hey, Keith, say hello to all the people in Phoenix. Beautiful picture quality, beautiful audio. And so now we're in the call, and we can start the meeting, but I'm going to continue with the demo here. So a couple other things that WebEx Assistant is really good at is helping you control a lot of the device functions that you might otherwise have to get up out of your chair, walk across the room, find the touch panel, and then tap on the touch panel just to do something simple like turn up the volume. So instead, you can sit in your chair, and you can say, okay, WebEx, turn up the volume. Easy, but you don't need to disrupt the meeting just to do something like turn up the volume. Or you could do something like, let's say I want to make sure I have a good camera angle. I could say, okay, WebEx, show me my camera view. And then my camera view is here. I can make sure I have a good angle. It looks good. Okay, Keith, I think I'm going to wrap up the demo in a second, so thanks very much for joining. Okay, WebEx. Okay, WebEx. Exit the meeting. And so,
okay, leaving the call now.
So sometimes you have these devices in your conference room, and you're not in a meeting, but they're really great if you want to share your presentation. So instead of having to like find the cable or find the dongle to plug in to share your presentation, if you have WebEx Assistant, you can just say, okay, WebEx, share my presentation. Okay, sharing your screen. And then my slides are up there. I can walk through the presentation. And then, so these are just a very small number of the things that WebEx Assistant will be able to do. It will become available, as I mentioned, starting this summer on these Room series devices that are web connected, and later this year on WebEx Board and many other devices. And of course, as the system gets smarter and smarter over the coming months and weeks, we think, months and years, we think it's going to grow into a truly indispensable assistant that you're going to want to have at every meeting. So that is WebEx Assistant. Back to you, Ro.
Everybody, Tim Tuttle, thank you very much. Okay, so coming soon. Beautiful. And it's free. It just shows up in all of our devices. And we've been getting ready for this for a long time. We had to get those AI-ready Jetson processors into our hardware devices. So as customers are deploying this, this feature will just show up and they can get access to it. Now, this is just the beginning. What Tim just showed with you is really the first level of meeting AI, which is command and control. But our vision extends well beyond that. our vision, we actually have 5 levels of meeting AI. We've written a blog on this, which you can go take a look at to get all of the details. But I'll just share with you a little bit of the inspiration behind this, because we know there is so much more we can do. So beyond sort of command and control, we want to move into natural language understanding. This is a very hot area of research right now. And to have a truly useful assistant in a meeting, that assistant needs to be listening to your conversations and needs to be understanding what you're talking about, so that it can respond and react appropriately. So if you are discussing the latest quarterly results, it needs to understand what that means. And of course, that leads into the next level of meeting AI, which is semantic understanding with domain expertise. In order to sort of really understand beyond sort of generic domains, which might be available to consumers, when you get into business, the third level of meeting AI is really all about understanding the context of your business. So financial knowledge might be one domain expertise that we might program the assistant with, or something specific to your business. Let's say you're in a supply chain. There's a whole lingo and a whole set of words that go along with a supply chain kind of an organization. Or maybe you're in retail or manufacturing. There's a whole domain that's very specific in terms of the language. And when somebody works in a company like that, if they're a sort of a new employee and they've never worked there before, they're sort of wet behind the ears, they're going to not be much use in your meeting until they learn the domain, until they learn when you say, have we shipped it yet? What does that really mean? If you're in a shipping company or if you're in a product company, those may mean 2 totally different things. And so the technology has to be able to learn in specific domains. And as that continues forward, we see that these assistants will eventually become intelligent team members, able to do more than sort of respond to things in very simple ways, actually to be intelligent. So if I say, show me the last quarterly result, it knows what part of the business I'm in. It understands what is a quarterly result. It understands that I usually ask for things like financial metrics. And it understands that that metric will be this particular metric and can pull it right up and make it super valuable to me. It understands when I say, make sure Joe follows up on that, it knows who Joe is. It knows what to do to hook up and get an action item assigned to Joe so that he can follow up. Maybe it's Joe Smith, has to be followed up with, okay? And that ultimately leads to team and strategic intelligence. What we mean by that is that the technology will get smarter and smarter and smarter over time so that it can eventually provide proactive insight to the team, recommendations. It's looking at the whole landscape of knowledge that it's learning from all of the organization's communications and able to proactively provide strategically relevant input to a team. So we think that these 5 levels of meeting AI are, number one, decades worth of research and development for us to bring true intelligent team members into business and true strategic intelligence and insights to you. But it's something that we're really passionate about because we know that so much of the things that teams struggle with when it comes to having great interactions or moving work forward, a lot of the things that they struggle with, we can actually solve with artificial intelligence. We can scale those problems that we see and use AI to make them better. So we have a very bright future in terms of applying the technology, and we're really thrilled to have Tim and his team from MindMeld on board helping us build that. And this is an open platform, of course. It will be extensible and accessible to all of our customers. So really excited about the future of AI. Now, I like to talk about stuff, but even more than that, I like showing stuff. So instead of just talking about the 5 levels of meeting AI, what do you guys say? I guess you have the choice. You can wrap it up, or I can give you a little bit of a preview of this technology in action. What do you say? You want to see it? Okay. All right. So we're going to get a demonstration of this technology in action. And so to demonstrate that, please welcome to the stage our VP and GM of our calling business, Tom Poro. Tom, come on stage.